What if I told you that one of Hollywood's most beloved icons, an actress who danced her way into America's hearts in Singin' in the Rain, ended up losing almost everything, not because of a scandal, not because of bad acting roles, but because of a Las Vegas casino? That's right. Debbie Reynolds, the cheerful, talented star known for her charm and smile, took a financial gamble in the 1990s that would cost her dearly. What started as a dream to preserve Hollywood's golden age turned into a nightmare filled with debt, lawsuits, and bankruptcy. And the twist? She did it all for love. Love of the movies, love of nostalgia, and love of preserving a world that was slipping away. This is the true story of how Debbie Reynolds went from silver screen royalty to bankruptcy court because of a casino. Debbie Reynolds had always been a fighter. Born in 1932 in El Paso, Texas, she shot to stardom as a teenager, becoming one of MGM's brightest stars. Her smile was magnetic, her energy contagious, and her talent undeniable. By the time she started Singin' in the Rain at age 19, she was a household name. Throughout the 50s and 60s, she built a strong career in film and later transitioned to television, stage, and even voice work. But Debbie wasn't just an entertainer. She had a keen eye for history, particularly the glitzy, glamorous kind. Over the years, she developed a deep passion for preserving the legacy of old Hollywood. And this passion would eventually pull her into one of the biggest financial risks of her life. While many stars of her era faded into quiet retirement, Debbie remained active and ambitious. In the 1970s and 80s, she began collecting Hollywood memorabilia. Not just a few items here and there, she amassed one of the largest private collections in the world. Costumes from The Wizard of Oz, props from Gone with the Wind, and even Marilyn Monroe's iconic white dress. Debbie saw these items as treasures that told the story of American cinema. She believed they needed a permanent home, a museum where fans could come and see the magic up close. That dream stuck with her for years. And then came an opportunity. In the early 1990s, Las Vegas was changing. The city wanted to be more than just slot machines and poker tables. There was a push to make Vegas more family-friendly and attract a broader crowd. Debbie saw this as the perfect moment to bring her Hollywood museum to life. She imagined a place that would combine the glitz of Vegas with the glamour of old Hollywood, a hotel and casino that would also serve as a museum, a theater, and a tribute to film history. In 1993, she bought the bankrupt Paddle Wheel Hotel and Casino on the Las Vegas Strip, just off Convention Center Drive. The plan? Turn it into the Debbie Reynolds Hollywood Hotel. It was a bold move, and a very expensive one. Debbie poured millions into renovating the hotel. She opened a small museum to showcase her memorabilia and added a 500-seat showroom where she performed live shows. It was personal. She wasn't just putting up money, she was putting up herself. Her name was on the building. She headlined the entertainment. She personally welcomed guests. It was her passion project, through and through. But passion doesn't always pay the bills. From the beginning, the hotel struggled. The location wasn't ideal, tucked behind the Strip, away from the heavy foot traffic. Tourists flocked to Caesar's Palace and the Mirage, not to a hotel that felt more like a nostalgia pit stop. And while Debbie's museum was fascinating for film buffs, it lacked the flashy appeal that most Vegas visitors were seeking. It wasn't just that the business was underperforming, it was bleeding money. Despite the setbacks, Debbie refused to give up. She doubled down, hoping that time and marketing could turn things around. She believed in the vision. She even took her company public, selling shares to raise more capital. But the more she tried to salvage the dream, the more money disappeared. Costs ballooned, revenue stayed flat, and then came the lawsuits. Investors began to grow frustrated, claiming mismanagement and broken promises. The SEC got involved. Creditors demanded payment. And Debbie, she was caught in the middle, trying to keep her dream alive while watching it collapse around her. By 1997, the weight of the financial pressure became too much to bear. Debbie Reynolds filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The bankruptcy filings revealed the depth of the disaster. She was millions in debt, including personal guarantees she had made to fund the hotel. The memorabilia she had collected for decades, her treasured collection, was now at risk of being sold off to pay creditors. The hotel closed its doors, the museum shut down, and her dreams were left in the rubble of unpaid bills and legal fees. The name Debbie Reynolds no longer lit up in neon. It was buried in the bankruptcy court records. For many stars, this would have been the end. a fall too painful to recover from. But Debbie Reynolds wasn't like most stars. She didn't crawl away in shame or disappear from the spotlight. She kept working. She took roles to help pay off her debts. She performed live whenever she could. And she continued to fight to preserve Hollywood history, even when the system told her it wasn't worth saving. Years later, she would try again to open a museum in Tennessee, but the effort too would end in disappointment. Eventually, the collection she had built was auctioned off piece by piece. It was heartbreaking for her, but it also gave the public a chance to finally see the treasures she had saved. In some poetic way, the auction fulfilled part of her original dream, sharing Hollywood's past with the world, even if it came at the cost of her own financial security. Debbie Reynolds' story is more than just a tale of bankruptcy. It's about vision, sacrifice, and the high price of chasing a dream. She could have lived a comfortable life doing guest spots and interviews, basking in her legacy. But instead, she chose to invest in something bigger than herself. She believed that the glamour of the past still mattered in the fast-paced neon world of Vegas. She believed that history was worth preserving, and she risked it all to make that belief real. Her downfall wasn't due to greed or extravagance, it was due to heart. She poured herself into a project meant to honor the very industry that had made her a star, and in return, she faced rejection, failure, and public financial collapse. Yet, through it all, she never lost her dignity, she never lost her humor, and she never lost her love for the magic of movies. In her later years, Debbie continued to act and speak publicly about her experiences. She wrote books, gave interviews, and kept performing. Her relationship with her daughter, Carrie Fisher, also became a central part of her legacy. The two were close, and their bond, often tested by the pressures of fame, remained strong until the very end. In a bittersweet twist, Debbie Reynolds passed away just one day after Carrie in 2016. Some said it was a broken heart. Others believed it was fate. But looking back, Debbie's failed casino venture wasn't just a business blunder. It was a symbol of her endless optimism, her belief in art and legacy, and her willingness to go all in for something she truly believed in. Sure, the casino didn't survive, the museum didn't last, and the debts swallowed a fortune. But her story, that still shines, that still matters. Debbie Reynolds might have lost her hotel, she might have gone bankrupt, but she never lost her spirit. And in the end, maybe that's the real legacy she left behind. Not just as a star of the screen, but as a woman who fought for something beautiful, even when the odds were against her. In a city built on bets, Debbie Reynolds placed one of the biggest and most heartfelt of all. And that's a story worth remembering. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more stories where fame, fortune, and failure collide. Let us know in the comments, do you think Debbie's dream was worth the risk?